Good morning. Hello, hello. All right, we're hooked up on YouTube. Oh, hi, Marisa's on YouTube. Great. Hi. Okay, everyone. Well, I'm going to get right into it today because I know that Marisa has a lot to share with us. So I'm going to just, hi, everyone. Hi, Gabriella. Hi, Abby. Good morning. How are we feeling today? Everyone just wants to drop an emoji of how we're feeling. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Nina. We have such a treat. You guys asked for her to come back. We're going to do it up. I'm going to try and put my thing here so I can look at both at the same time. I'm going to go really quickly over the morning energy report because I want to get right in, make sure we have plenty of time to cover with our talented priestess, goddess of all things sensuality, sexuality, owning our self-love. We're going to be talking with Marisa about really solo touch, self-love, pleasure, especially if you're alone during quarantine. But I'm going to be taking tips, even though I'm here with my partner, because self-love is the best love, truly. Really important. So I'm just going to go over, we are still in Aquarius moon today in terms of the cosmic energy report. The moon will be moving around 2 p.m. into Pisces. So tonight we might be feeling, like we just want to feel a little bit more emotional, dreamy, I would say, stepping into that more Akashic realm. Abby knows what I'm talking about, but the Pisces moon is coming tonight. So during the day, Aquarius moon, make time for let that intellect go for the first part of the day, do some writing, spend time on technology, but maybe around 2 or 3 hour time in the East Coast, maybe it's a good time to put down the technology, fold down the laptop, take a salt bath, and just let yourself dream, read some poetry, do a reading for yourself. It's a great time to get intuitive. And then we have Venus is still in the retro shade period. So we're still going to be just looking out for, no dyeing our hair, no making drastic changes to our physical appearances that can't change, and looking out for I've already gotten so many messages from you guys about exes and old flings coming out of the woodwork. And that's it. We're in the shadow. Venus retrograde is kicking up all of that stuff that's been hanging out under the rug too long. So, this is just, if you're lonely, if you're bored, it is not a sign to get back with these people. Marissa's going to walk us through how you can take your pleasure into your own hands today. And remember that you are all you need in that sense. And only people who are really in alignment with your highest good are allowed back in during Venus retrograde shadow. Okay. Please remember. So we're going to be in that until May 13th. But today is Venus Day. Today is Day ruled by the goddess. So I'm going to pull one goddess card for us before we bring Marisa on and just see what do we need to know? It is what goddess is walking with us today? What goddess are we feeling? Who's with us? Who are we invoking? Who are we embodying today? And this is from my Doreen Virtue, probably one of my oldest decks I have. Ooh, got some jumper. Oh, we have jumper cards. So let's just go in. Okay, great. So we have Ostara, fertility. It's a perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. So this is the time of year we're in. We just had the actual holiday of Ostara, but this time of year, even though we're home, we're in quarantine, we can't forget spring does not stop sprunging just because we're in this shelter in place. It's time for newness, new ideas, new life, new things to come forward. So, tend to those things that are blossoming within you and just trust. This is a time, it's a new fresh air is coming in. So I love that. And then the other jumper card, because Ostara is all sweet and lovely and maiden energy. And then we have Freya. And of course she popped out because this is her day. Friday is Freya day. And I'm like, what up? We see you, respect, bow down to Freya. She's like, don't try and do a talk about all the sensuality and sexuality on my day and don't invite me to the party. So we have Freya bold. We know she's Norse goddess. Unleash your adventurous side, take risks, and be daring. And what I love about her is because she is the goddess of like love, sexuality, but also war, because she's not messing around. She brings like Venusian energy plus Kali Ma all in once, and I love her. So we are destroying anything that's not in alignment with our soul-centered pleasure and our truth today, and we are going boldly into a side of being adventurous, owning our sexuality, owning our truth. Thank you, Freya, for showing up. Of course, you're here. Love all your comments. Yes, Arden. Do you guys like my sweatshirt? I love it. I always say just don't be a dick is one of our founding principles of the Cosmic Revolution. We're just learning tools here so we can just stop being a dick and just owning ourselves. And so one of my clients found this sweatshirt on Etsy, and I will be living in it for the foreseeable future. All right, so should we invite on Marisa? I just kind of want to get started. I'm like, she has so much wisdom and yumminess to share. So let's bring her on. And you guys, there's a little question box at the bottom of your bar, at the bottom of your screen. If you have a question for Marisa, please drop it in there. If any of you have seen the Goop Pleasure Lab episode with Betty Dodson, Marisa studied with her, under her. And so like, that's a very powerful episode. So we have her right here at your access. What a gift. This is so fun to sit with you. How are you doing today, love?
Oh gosh, that reading was like making me crack up.
I know. Yeah. So good, yeah. So good.
Freaking exes, like, hey, I'm in quarantine. I'm clean. Can I come over, please? And I'm like, oh, I would want nothing more. But I keep getting, I kid you not, the death card.
The death. I love it.
It's like the death card.
I love spirits like you are not going back. I'm gonna just keep giving you this death card as many times as you need right now. Oh my God, I'm sure you're not the only one who's having that exact experience in quarantine. Oh, it's so funny. Oh God, this stuff kills me. I love it. It's too much, too funny. First of all, how have you been since we chatted last? I cannot tell you how many messages I got and emails and were like, that was amazing. Everyone I know, we have like a group chat about like everyone's doing their breast massage. My boobs, my tatas, my tits, my breasts are so happy. I've been giving them so much love since we chatted. We've all been steaming. So yeah, thank you so much. But how have you been since our last talk?
I'm so happy to hear that. I'm doing my breast massage too. It's so good. Especially with the like, may all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Like opening up and giving and receiving.
I've been doing it as a meditation. I'm like, oh, the heart portal that you taught me, that like kind of infinity flow. It's so good. It's so good.
So yeah, so I'm great. It's such a weird paradox right now for me. I mean, because I normally live in Brooklyn, and I love New York City, but I'm kind of done not having nature. So I'm in heaven here with the woods and the flowering trees and a big house, not a tiny apartment, with my best sister wife friends. Like
so good.
It's dinner and prayers, like so much good, and working and enjoying my work, like lots of work. And I think I mentioned I'm not with my daughter.
Yeah.
And so that's so much grief. And I'm riding it.
Right.
It's a weird COVID situation that I'm separated from her, and I kind of don't know when I'll be with her again. So, but yesterday I really went into surrender that I don't know if I'm going to see what's going to happen. So I'm good. I went on this like Sullivan meditation yesterday, which is another hard practice where you breathe in the suffering. And I said, let me do this for all the mothers and fathers who are separated from their children. Sometimes you did. And let me breathe in the suffering. And luckily, this meditation, they had the sound off. They said, turn off your sound and turn off, and I was just on the floor wailing. I said, I can't help with anybody else's suffering. Let me just sit in the Divine Mother's lap and let her hold me and she'll do it. So that's where I am with that. And then sex, where are we with sex?
Where are we with sex? I was cracking up at your comment on one of the memes. You're like, sex? What sex? And then you're like, I left New York without my wand and my sex toys. Hello. I'm so curious what sex toy online sales are at right now. Like, I would love to like get a report on that because they have to be through the roof, right?
They have to be. I was getting ready to like pull out the, which can be fun.
We pull out the what? That's what I thought you said. That is OG organic goddess original sex toy.
One of my friends, we had this thing like go to the grocery store and like pull the cucumber, find the best cucumber, like what cucumber is looking good today.
I want to hang out with you and your friends between your dinner prayers, you hang out in the woods, and like sensual produce shopping. You're just like in the aisle, you're like, oh, look at this one. That's amazing.
Curled. Little bit of G-spot reach on that cucumber, maybe.
I love that. I am not going to be able to definitely walk through the produce aisle ever again without just laughing and thinking about that. So thank you. Yeah, so I guess this lends itself well into our conversation. Last time we talked, you're like, we got to talk about this next time. And then I've been teasing it a little bit and everyone's like, yes, give me some tips, give me some insight. I'm alone. I need to feel good. I miss human touch. So, I mean, I'm gonna let you like ride with this, but since you're the expert and creatrix, but yeah, like, what have you been, I guess, hearing from people? What's been your experience? And like, yeah, what are some ways we can get some self-loving on during quarantine?
Yeah. There's so much, right? I hate how my glasses take them off and I can still see you. So, well, one thing, let's just do something.
Let's do something. Let's do it.
So just take a moment and think, how would you like to be touched at this moment?
Okay.
What kind of touch might you like to receive? And just notice, it's Maddie and I'm here, so I'm going to see Maddie and I'm going to see me. And I really would love like a little, just like my neck I just feel like I want like, just to like soften my neck, like a little holding on my neck. So if I do that, you see me do that, and then what if you were to be with a friend, or we were to be together, and then I could do it like that. So that's like with myself, actually. Let me just say that. Like this is like we're hanging out, but what if we were like in this, we're just like, what kind of touch would you like to receive right now? So just do that, tune in. So really ask yourself, what kind of touch would you like to receive? And that's why also self-pleasure is so powerful. Like, knowing what we want to receive. And we can notice this is on the sort of the reassured level, the nurturing level, the therapeutic level, and the sensual level. And to really like that sensual level, what happens is that we don't do that, Venus. We don't do the sensual. We go right for the sexual.
I think you should repeat that again, because that's very big for solo pleasure or with a partner. So we skip over the sensual and we go right into the sexual.
Yeah. So don't pick up that wand.
Right. It's so easy to want to just get on the bed and just get with the wand. But like, this feels nice already. Even for me, I'm like, I love the idea of tuning to like, what do you need right now? The therapeutic, like relaxing, restorative, nourishing. And then what was the first one you called it? Like,
reassuring, your friend is like, oh, yeah. I get it.
I know, I miss hugs. When
your friend like just takes your arm and goes, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That, like, that reaffirming, like, here I am, here you are,
right.
Here we're together. So there's the reaffirming, reassuring, Then there's the nurturing.
Yeah.
You know, we want to be babied. We want to like rocked, nurturing. And then there's therapeutic. Like, yeah, oh man, what some of us who aren't getting any touch, who are not getting. I usually get a massage every 2 weeks.
I know. I really miss massages. Like, I was giving myself, I've been on this computer and Zoom so much, and I realized that when I'm talking to someone like you or all my clients or my new cosmic bosses, they're so interesting. So this is what I'm doing. I'm leaning forward into the screen, like, and I realized yesterday, I was like, oh my God, my neck. So I had to give myself like a half hour, just like neck.
And you can.
It felt so good. It felt really, really good.
Yeah. So therapeutic and then the sensual. So really, like, to spend forever in the sensual. Like, so now we'll talk, you know, so like
my forearms.
So yeah, you have those times where you self-love and you're like, man, I need to go to sleep and I'm so wound up and then the rest of on and just ride that orgasm and like, oh, thank God.
Right, like release and thank God, like I'm going to sleep, sleeping pill energy of an orgasm, right?
Yeah. So there are those, right? But what is it to be like, hey, darling, like literally have you, like, I'm sure you tell everybody sometime to look at yourself and really and look down at that yoni and look at how beautiful she is, right? And then don't go there yet. You know, where else? Where are all your sensual zones? My big low back, like it's my biggest.
Low back? Oh, I love that. Wait, what's your sign again? Why have I not asked you this?
Oh yeah, Gemini.
Okay, Gemini low back. Okay, because I know all my Libras love having like their like upper bum played with. So we can do another talk about that. Erogenous zones through astrology, but I love the lower back. That feels so good, right? Like, oh.
The bum is everything. And man, I mean, talk about anal. Like there, you know.
Talk about anal.
There's two, like we have two nerves that go from the genital anatomy to the, and both of those nerves go to the butthole.
Yeah, like, there you go. I love that. So much pleasure, erogenous zone there.
Yeah, you have the perennial sponge.
Which I love. I love hearing that because that could be for anyone watching. Like whenever your anatomy is, everyone has a butthole. So that pleasure is for everyone. I like that.
So perennial sponge, your erectile tissue that lays at the right on the other side of the perineum, is from the back of the vagina and the anus. But the thing about the anal pleasure is you don't have to actually go in there.
Oh.
You can just like right now.
I think that's good for people to hear. I think some people, maybe not everyone, but some people might be like, ooh, like literally constricted with that thought. But the idea of like just around it feels good. So what does that feel like to you? Just like tickling or touching or just tuning in with your mind? Okay, mind pleasure.
Right now. Like squeeze your butthole and let it go.
Okay, I'm doing it right now.
There's some pleasure there.
Oh yeah. My teacher, she always does a breath of fire, and you squeeze like you constrict, and she always says, she goes butthole to crown, lock it down, and feel all of that energy move through there. And like you feel it. You're like, ooh, and I love that. I know. Okay, and that's such a good like root. I always think when I'm doing that too, I'm like connecting into my root chakra of like, all right, I'm so connected to the earth. Like it feels good. Oh, I love it. Okay, great. So this is just like been super. I love that you remind people so much of like the mind as the erogenous zone too, as this thing of like you could just connect in and then like drop in here first to slow this down, and the slowing, visualizing awareness for different parts of your body.
And the hands.
Okay.
So our hands come from our heart. Same thing. Right? Mm-hmm. So to really start to use your hands and notice that as your hands touch, they're being touched. So you can do it with your own hands and really start to activate your hands in their receiving pleasure as they touch. So like I love something, picking up something.
I have my gear, so I'm gonna pick this up too.
And notice, usually our hands are utilitarian. There's this
right.
but slow down. I love like in between the fingers.
Mm.
And really, and you literally look at your hands touching and do it half the speed. And notice.
Wow.
I gotta take care of my battery. Sorry, 1 second.
Okay. I definitely do not pay attention to my hands. And I was like, I pretty much am very committed to living in pleasure in my sexuality, in my sensuality. It's always at the forefront of basically everything I'm thinking about. I have definitely dropped into that spot, but I will say I do not give my hands enough attention in that way. It's so right. They are utilitarian for me, unless I'm using them to touch like my partner or my lover or even myself. But I don't think about the meta of what pleasure are my hands receiving.
Yeah, we don't. And there's like more. It's like your genitalia. There's more nerve endings here than anywhere else.
Ooh.
But then if you activate your hands, and then it is just like.
I know my hands feel very like tingly, like a lot.
Right.
I hope someone's just tuning in right now because I feel I'm like, whoa, like it is amazing what that does for your hands. And then like the thing that the part of your body you're touching with your hands after that feels super heightened and tingly.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is in this whole idea, and this is really important, in the 4 quadrants of touch.
Yes.
Okay?
I love this. Walk us through.
4 quadrants of touch. I'm just going to make this little pie. Give and receive. And so as women, we got to think about how often between give and receive. So what do you want to receive, really? Not like somebody gives you this, and here, I'm going to give you this pleasure.
Right.
Okay, how is this? No, it's like, that's actually not what I want to receive. I want to receive this.
Right.
And receive, and then take an offer. And for, again, this is kind of general with women, but there is this yin and this yang energy. Yin, generally, as women, we often miss out on taking pleasure. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's giving, and the other person's receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody's taking, the other person's offering. But whose pleasure is it for?
Mm-hmm.
So now maybe I'm touching myself, and I'm receiving this nice thing. So here, I'm going to do a little, okay, how do I want to be touched? My hand is doing this for my heart. I'm receiving a nice thing from my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Now say I want to take pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's where I am, like, if I was with you, Maddie, okay?
Tell me.
If I was with you and I wanted to take pleasure, like I wanted to enjoy you.
Yes.
I would love to just put my hands around your cheeks and go, and go. I think I want to just a little bit squishy. Would that be okay?
Yes, I consent to squishing my cheeks.
And that would be fun for me. Now you might receive some fun from that.
Right, but that's for you. Like, and I love the quadrant. I love that. I think that's such a good distinction. Like, what do I want to take from you right now? I think about within all of us. I think about back to the birth chart. We all have the Venus, the receptive, the pleasure of receiving, but we all have the Mars, no matter our gender, our sexuality. We have that Mars that just wants to be like, oh, I want this thing and I want to feel this way.
Yeah.
And in this kind of the 4 quadrants, taking turns and being aware. You taught me that, and I thought the same. I was laughing. You told me about that, and the grabbing your partner's like side.
Yeah.
And I tuned into that, and I walked my partner through it, and it was so fun. The taking pleasure.
Yeah.
I really love that. My Mars and Sagittarius love that permission. Like, I want to take that. So I love that.
Yeah, that's Mars. Yeah.
Oh, so good. So
and
good.
We're so getting that yang going.
Love it. Yeah. Because we all have that. We all have the yin and the yang, and it's the yin and the yang. Like, it's so fun to remember that. Like, and that quadrant exercise is, I think, could you use it on your own actually? Like with yourself?
Like I just practiced that now. Like
that's fun.
Yeah. So say right now, like, I mean, I so need this. Like there's a little bit of the lungs thing going on, and grief, bro. So if I want to receive, if I say to myself, Marisa, what do I want to receive? I even have tears as I think about it. I I just want so do that right now, everybody. How do you want to receive touch from yourself right now?
Yeah. I keep wanting to hug. I'm curious what everyone else wants, but I'm having my grandma's in the hospital and I can't see her. And I keep just wanting to like see her or my sisters and like a family hug. Like I have my partner here, but I keep missing that
and we
being held.
This is, and I have been exploring doing this online with each other.
Yeah.
So you really can. You could go with your grandma and be like, Grandma, if I was with you right now, I would really want it like to hand.
Yeah. I know.
And you can do it there. You can sit there and say, Grandma, I got your hand.
Yeah.
The way I got your hand. Can you I'm holding your hand right now?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna cry. I know.
I don't feel it. It just opens up to let the touch come directly from what we really want to do.
Yeah.
On all these levels, sexually.
Yeah. It's so good. It's such a good exercise. I'm crying, but it's so beautiful to think about that touch that can transcend just with your intention. And also, I just love the permission and the structure of how to think about touch in different ways with yourself. I think we talked about sometimes we're okay, I'm ready for self-pleasure and just jumping right into it. But this different types, the restorative, the nourishing, the therapeutic, the sensual, and then in that quadrant, now you have putting that together, you have 50 million different ways of experiencing pleasure. You can say, I want to receive therapeutic. I want to give myself, something nourishing. So it's just so powerful. But I love the idea of over Zoom or over FaceTime, practicing saying I'm holding you right now, or I'm rubbing your hands and I want to give you some of that healing touch. So I miss that. I'm such a touch person.
Yeah, and you can give and receive in that. So Grandma, what would you want from me right now?
Yeah.
If I was there, what would you want?
Yeah.
You want a hand on your that it's gonna be okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna here.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And I've got my hand on my shoulder. Can you put your hand on your own shoulder and feel like that?
Yeah. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Okay. And you can even make love to yourself in this grief space, What is it to just be hand on heart and be like, oh man, this sucks.
This sucks. I know. This sucks.
I may not have sex with another being until July. Bottom line.
It sucks. I know, and I'm sure again, there's so many people probably watching this or watching this later on today and being like, holy F me too. So
but and then you people, the couples, there's mating in captivity, obviously.
Literally, I have that book on my desk and I'm like, Esther, you have no idea. Truly in captivity right now.
And lions and tigers in captivity, it's really hard to get them to procreate. And it's unless we deal with, so there's the whole nervous system there. Piece of sex and the nervous system. Great book is The Science of Sexual Happiness.
Oh, I'm gonna write this down. I love a good book.
So good for trauma. Science of Sexual Happiness, Caffeine Justice. If you do Science of Sexual Happiness, you'll find it. But she has this wonderful graph about the nervous system, and it's Venus and Mars. It's sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic. So yes, we need the Venus. We need to be in a space of receptivity. We need to be relaxed enough. When you're too much thinking about what you got to do that you can't let go.
You literally can't feel into pleasure. Your mind is just yeah.
So we need that, but we don't want to be too much relaxed that we're asleep.
That's never good when you're looking over at yourself or your partner, you're you fall asleep. That's a good distinction.
And maybe it's nervous system, like maybe we've been so wound up and we haven't been able to relax that we finally drop into this calm space that we
drop way out. I know. We've all been there.
Where we need the opposite is we need enough parasympathetic nervous system that we're excited, that there's some excitement, that there's some drive, that there's some and we both of. But the too much parasympathetic is, this is really important.
Okay.
When you're faced maybe some kind of abuse, especially as a child, and you are overly pleasing the other.
Okay.
So too much
that is very important.
That you, like in the the fight response, the animal that has been attacked that wants to please. Stockholm syndrome, these kind of things are in a traumatized nervous system. So that's where really getting into that receiving quadrant.
This is why receiving is actually healing. Thank you for breaking that down in a scientific point of view, because like receiving is actually healing you.
Actually healing. Like healing this nervous system, sexual thing is where you heal the sexual trauma. You tune into my pleasure. This is for me.
Right.
This is and this is huge. Like sit there with yourself.
Right.
If you're always into pleasing your partner, this is for me.
Right. Right. And sitting with that. And like I will say, for anyone who hasn't done this before, it will be challenging. Like to sit and receive. You're gonna want to, like, especially if you have this in your nervous system or any kind of this trauma or just any conditioning, you're gonna want to like reach to like move or like, okay, now I'm gonna do it back to you, or I'm gonna do it for you. Just to receive, it's challenging. But I do know from, again, workshops I've done and studies I've read and my own personal experience, I think it's really a gift when you're in a balanced, mutually respecting sexual relationship. Someone who lets you just take care of them, or when you let yourself receive from someone, it's a gift, I think. Just like, oh, they trust me, they're surrendering and they're like receiving. So just know too, it goes both ways. Like it's very nice to do it for your partner too. Like to actually receive is like beautiful. So wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. This is for me, fuck.
And have your partner say both ways.
This is for you.
That's what the 3-minute thing is really great, and non-sexual way too. How do I really want to be touched?
Yeah.
And just each other and say, okay, this next 3 minutes, this is all for me.
Right. And 3 minutes is perfect. Like it's, I love it.
It's all for you. It's all for you, hon. That's right. It's all for you.
So you would recommend for couples who are, especially this mating in captivity, where it's like maybe walking through this quadrant type of a thing and saying like, okay, we're gonna take 3 minutes in each quadrant, and then you can ask like what type of, if it's receiving, like what kind of touch do you want to receive right now? Sensual, therapeutic. I like that. Okay, that's like that's
and
fun.
That's the whole thing of like sitting there and going, wait, like I'm not gonna rush it. Oh yeah, give me a back massage. Like, don't go to your automatic.
Right, I like that.
Hey, actually, what I want, like if I right now, I'm something I want my inner thigh. Like I want like rolling on the inner leg. I want like a heel of a hand push
Ooh,
down,
yes.
down
Okay.
that line of my inner leg. Like that, if I really pay attention. And then this is another way to do it. It's called bossy massage.
Bossy massage? Ooh, tell me about it. Okay.
So bossy massage, you can do it for longer. Like you can do it for 20 minutes.
Okay. Bossy massage. I'm writing this down.
Massage. So I'm gonna receive for 20 minutes. So you're there and you're like, okay, put your hands on in my hair and move my hair around. And then the giver is gonna say, how can I make this even better?
Ooh, how can we make this even better? I love that. Okay.
So it's like, okay, yeah. So you're gonna be here and okay, every like once in a while, just lightly, very lightly tug the roots.
Ooh.
So then you do this just for like a minute. Okay? And then the giver steps away and just waits. So there's a whole practice in moments, keep tuning in to exactly what I want. Okay, now I want crunch on the top of my shoulder. You know, and when you just keep tuning in.
So powerful.
Really great.
You know what I like about this? I like speaking up for your pleasure. And I like asking for something. The bossy, when you said that, you know, we're doing this cosmic boss program and it's about just up leveling every aspect of your life and stepping into cosmic boss mode. I'm like, this is it. Because if you cannot ask for your pleasure in the bedroom, you're not going to speak up for yourself in the boardroom or with your clients. Like just saying like I would like shoulder massage, like, and like harder or softer. I actually would really like you to rub my thumb joint right now. Like there's something about speaking up for your pleasure. Even hearing you do that, it's like very energizing and very affirming to watch you do that.
Yes. These 4 quadrants, they reverberate. You do this, you do this with touch, and it starts going out into your life.
Okay, I love it. And for anyone just tuning in, you can watch the beginning of this. We talked a lot about solo self-touch using these different modalities and this quadrant and the different types. So wow, okay, I love it. And everyone, we're doing this on Venus Day. It's Friday day. Even though all the hours are blurring into one in the days, we still have our planetary rulers of the day. Today is ruled by Venus. We still have the moon phases. And Friday, even though everything feels like once, Friday is still a day for pleasure, no matter what. So really make that distinction. I think tonight would be a night. Make yourself all sexy, go do a nice scrub, rub yourself down in some oils, light some candles, and either with yourself or a partner, this would be a great night to like dip into these practices, I think. Like this sounds so good. Hearing you talk about this, I'm like, yes, yes.
It's just talking. I'm touching it's opening something.
Yeah.
To receive some touch, and all of a sudden I'm finding myself touching myself in this nice way.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful. Anyone, I see a bunch of comments. I haven't been able to catch up with them. But if anybody has any questions, you could drop them in the question box, and I'm sure Marisa would be generous enough to answer them. But I love this. I also love, like, I guess there's like solo, and then there's people who are mating in captivity together, and then there's people who are probably like long distance from their partner. So like you were talking about this touch thing over FaceTime, Zoom, like I love this. It's like connecting.
Yeah.
People can still do this through this interface, right?
And then live those, phone sex.
Let's talk about phone sex, y'all. It's important right now.
Get in the receiving quadrant. Get in the taking quadrant. That is not all about, we're not just performing.
No performance, no pleasure as performance. Okay.
So what makes me feel great? You know, take that picture that like you love of you, that makes you happy. What do you want to see? I was talking to somebody. I was talking to this guy, and I was like, turn around. I want to see your butt.
Show me your butt.
Show me your butt. And he's like, why?
You're like, because I want to take that pleasure. I want to see your butt.
He's like turning around going, what?
He's like,
I was like, yes.
Yes, I love that so much. Good for you. I love that. I love that the taking and the receiving. This quadrant is such an amazing tool, because then we also know, like, just like life, there's rhythms to ourselves, and our like within one sexual experience. Yeah, you might want to take, receive, you might want to like do all these different things. And I love just like speaking up. And again, there's something energizing, like you saying that, like someone being like, show me your butt. It's like, wait, what? And all of a sudden the person's kind of like, oh my God, you see my butt? Like, it just feels good to go after something you want. I love it. Any other good like tips for phone sex, Zoom sex, FaceTime sex, whatever people are getting into?
Like noticing, we all, because there's all the senses, right? Oh, this is it. There's this great thing.
Tell us.
So I know, right? I'm losing it. But okay, so I found for a little bit that it was interesting that the visual like, so we're doing it through our senses. Are you doing it through your senses, through your eyes, through your ears, then through your imagination. So sometimes that's sexting. Sometimes so much sexier in the imagination. What do you want to do to me? Then what are you going to do next? Here's what I want to do to you. And that whole imagination piece can be more exciting than on.
It's like, oh. Also, this is all very Venus and Gemini right now. I mean, I haven't even gotten into it, but Venus and Gemini is all about like communication and sexting and texting and the flirtatious and almost like the sexiness of the space between the words. Like the word, like imagination is so strong and there's no end to it. Like it's like sometimes with sexual experience, like we have the sexual experience and then we're done and maybe we're like, meh, I don't know, whatever. But imagination and the talking, and the more I think that we can sit in that space, sometimes it's just like, I mean, to me, like words and banter and, you know, dirty talk, sexting, those are things that just like, yep, fuel in my fire. Like I love it. So I love the idea of, even though we have access to Zoom and stuff, it's like, yeah, maybe spending a little time, a few laps around in the sexting area. Like, and I think you just said, I literally wrote down, I get a lot of questions about like how to sext. Like, I think some people are just like, where do you start? But I love the questions. Like, what would you do to me right now? This is what I would do to you. Back to the 4 quadrants.
Yeah, I mean, I was a long time ago that I remember a lover, he left me a phone message and he said, this is what I want to happen tonight. It left me this, it was his fantasy, but it was so fun for him to pour out the vision. And basically what can be really interesting about this is you can also really use, you're also playing with consent.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Playing with consent. Consent is very sexy and sensual.
Really, yeah, really getting into consent. So, can I? Would you like me to? And okay, I would like you to do that, but not that. And really get into this what you want, what you don't want, and drawing and having fun with that.
I love that so much. That's so good. I love that. And there's something, yeah, so sexy about someone being like, can I do this to you? And it reminds me of like the duel. I'm watching this show Outlander for the first time, and it's like so good. I'm like, why did it take me this long to watch this? But I love like after they're in this like fight, you know, seeing like sexual, but kind of fighting with each other for like who's more dominant. And the woman's like, you are not my master. And he's like, I am your master, but like, you are also my master. And I was like, ooh, that's so hot. Like, I love that. Like, we are both in that relationship. And like, I'm here to serve you. You are here to serve me. And we're going to take turns with that. And I was like, that's hot. That's amazing. I love that. So that's so fun.
So that's in the phone sex too, like playful. Like, you know, what's the dance that I want to do for you right now? I remember the time I said, hey, can I dance for you? And, and what I wanted to do was be like a little ballerina.
Oh.
And like, just like, and I'm not, I mean, I did some ballet when I did this little ballet dance. And I don't know if it was fun for him, but it was so fun for me.
Right.
And then like he knew that. And, you know, so what is the dance that makes you feel wonderful?
Right.
You know? It's not always a twerk.
Right. Like we're just finding pleasure of movement in your own body and then being witnessed in that is very sexy. Having someone witness that. And I think all of this stuff about honoring what you want to do and honoring what you want, to me, you know, I always think about things in terms of like vibration and energy. And that's just like when you're operating from the heart and you're in that juicy spot of alignment. And from that spot, you're magnetic. Like I can't take my eyes off of someone when they're in their juiciness, when they're in their like desire, like whether it's they're just dancing really passionately, talking about something they love. I'm transfixed because it's like it makes us instantly magnetic. So like you say, like I want to do this. Can you watch me as like a partner? Even if you might feel like, wow, I might feel kind of ridiculous, but it's like, no, they're gonna be like hypnotized by you probably because you're just doing something you want to do that feels really good. How do you feel? I guess, we have a few more minutes. I wanted to ask you about like how do we feel about like mutual self-pleasuring on like calls or Zoom? Any tips for that? For when we're going like more into the like, okay, we want to really like get to an orgasmic state together. Is there any like do's, don'ts, tips, techniques? Because I've been hearing people talk a lot about this, like, on social media right now.
Yeah, I think really continuing to find your consent, your alignment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we worry about our children in the same way that we would worry about our children to think about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I aligned with what I want?
Ooh, so good. So good.
Because how often it's like, honey, jerk off for me. And it's like, well, actually, I don't want to do that.
Right.
But what I want to do for you, this.
Right.
And
I love that.
And feel you might get there, but not go there out of your own.
Not on demand, first of all. Second of all, I love it actually is a beautiful full circle to the very beginning of the conversation, because like, am I aligned with what I want is such a good question. And the way we figure out what I want in any given moment is through spending time with this self-pleasuring. Like, you get to know your body and all the different types of pleasure it can feel. And you honestly, like, a big part of that, whether you're in a relationship or not, is going to be doing that on your own, taking the time to figure that out, so that when someone says, yeah, like, let's have a mutual, self-pleasure session, you're like, okay, but this is what I want to do through that process. That'll get me into that space of like deep body consent and deep joy in my body. And this is really important. I mean, I love that you have a younger daughter. And I think about like, when I have children, I can't wait to teach about this. Like, am I aligned in what I want? I think helps you bypass so many of the more tough or traumatizing sexual experiences that people go through. Because you can just say like, actually, does not feel good to me. This is not what I want. Therefore, I don't have to do it. Like, I'm not here just to serve your pleasure or to jump to some end goal. So this, like, am I aligned with what I want is like the thesis statement of this whole conversation. It's so good. Yeah, it's so good. I love that.
And maybe I feel really playful,
Yeah.
Right now I'm playful. Or right now I want to imagine wrestling it to the ground.
Yeah. I love it.
And I, my cats would do this. I love this. So we could do, if this is back to like, how would you take this online? I'm sure you could though. Like, imagine your partner's bigger or whatever. Let me win.
Yeah.
Pin you down. Okay, then you win.
Then you, a little sacred tussle, a little tussle. That's very animal, very cat. Yeah, like, let's just tussle a little bit. That feels fun. That's fun. That is really fun. Oh, that's so good. I love the idea, yeah, watching cats, watching nature too. Like, you brought up a few references to nature, and like, we are primal beings. So I love that.
Yeah, opening up and get your smell going.
I've never smelled my own wrist before, without like, anointing it with something. Everyone smell your own wrist. Like, I've never done this without like essential oil or like department store perfume on it or something.
Just the activation, because it's like you're out in the wild. It's like you're looking for meat, right? So you are activating some desire.
I love that. Wow. Yeah, I know. I do feel weirdly activated from that. That's so good. I did not know. I love it. I'm always learning something new with you. That's why I love talking to you.
I love you. Can you say one thing? I know about Venus in retrograde, and like when Mercury's in retrograde, and so communication is hard, but obviously we have to communicate. So this is not the end of our Venus when we're in retrograde. I know you've probably it's but really just like
a quick little so Venus retrograde is just gonna short circuit certain matters of our heart. So we want to, just like Mercury retrograde, we want to use that moment to review like everything we're learning about now. I think Venus retrograde is like, let's review everything I've learned about my love, my needs, wants, desires, how I view relationships, my pleasure, let me review everything I've learned in the past like year and a half, the last time we went retrograde. So retrogrades are always going to be a review because we move through life very fast. But let's be honest, probably in the last year and a half, you've learned things about yourself and relationships, what you do and do not want, what you deserve, your boundaries. You're like, ooh, I had to learn a little bit more about that communication. So a nice review. And then, like I said, it just short circuits things a little bit. So we just want, especially Venus and Gemini is going to be our communication. So we almost get that Mercury little twist in there of like, okay, you know, I'm pretending on my phone. Oops, my partner texted me something and I'm going to just jump into being offended by that. It's like, no, we just want to like allow ourselves a little of grace during Venus and Gemini. I'm going to just recommend people no drastic decisions, like, you know, no moving in with someone during Venus and Gemini, but no breaking things off. If you get out of the retrograde cycle and you still feel that way, great. But it just shifts everything and twists everything. But it's really also so we can look back and review. I think that we need to, our retrograde cycles are always like, okay, what did I learn? What can I process? And then how can I be like patient with the universe right now and learn from this instead of just jumping into like, you said I'm sick of you, you bastard, you're done. Like, which trust me, with the quarantine might happen.
Yeah. So here is the perfect Venus retrograde exercise for also can be done phone sex or live. Perfect.
Tell me.
It's called redigesting pleasure.
Ooh.
So sit there with each other and say, what was lovemaking moment that we had? Or also, what was a beautiful moment that we had? And go back and like.
Oh, I love doing this. Yes, I love like the highlight reel. Like that. Yes. Oh, redigesting pleasure.
Reaffirm the one that worked.
Is so Venus retrograde medicine. Like, yeah, to reaffirm. So it feels good for your partner or for yourself to be like, yeah, this was the time you made me feel really good. It's great. And it's affirming, like you said, like do more of that. Like that's a behavioral, like that was really good.
That's right. That's what you like.
Like the time that you like attacked me the second I walked in the door and like had to have me, like I really like that. Like, and they're like, oh, okay, good to know. You know?
Say a little bit of the details. You say the details.
Yeah.
You took my shirt and you went like that.
Yeah. Oh, I love. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. That's such a great the redigesting pleasure. Okay, good. I'll mention that and give you credit again as we move through deeper into Venus retrograde, especially because Gemini, the words can be so fun to be like, walk us through that again.
And what you did before that, you know, that day we went horseback riding. I always wanted to go horseback riding. Finally, horseback riding. And then that night, because it was such a wonderful day, riding on the horse and seeing your butt on the horse. And
back to that butt. That is like the perfect, that's going to be Venus retrograde medicine right there. Amazing. And also what I like about that too is because this Venus Gemini retrograde is happening during this time of either where we're going to be still in quarantine or coming out of it, and things have gotten they've been different for the past few months. This is a nice way of being like, well, remember when, or like remember when we went to like the park, or went to that party, like, and then this happened, so we can remember a little bit outside of our current reality, because it might feel different now.
And your soul level doesn't have time and space.
Yes.
Your spirit level, your soul level, your desire level, your pleasure level doesn't have time and space. So you can live in what you can't have.
Right. I'm just writing
talking about that time that you did whatever you did, and you melted coconut butter and you against each other. Even though you can't do that today, because your soul will feel it.
Right. I love that. It's so important. I love that. Outside of time and space. All right. Well, I just want to make sure we have time to just give you a shout out. I'm sure many people have questions for you or want to work with you. So just let people know where they can find you. I mean, obviously your Instagram here, and I'll tag you. It's on our Insta story, but how else can they work with you?
Yeah. So I have a website that's Marisa Sullivan Healing. I'm better about keeping my Instagram streak that with this, everything's changing. But I do have a couples tantric date night.
Yes.
Saturday, April 25th, 6 to 8 p.m. EST.
Okay.
It's amazing. It actually works beyond this time. Because I have couples in their living room. It's perfect. So that I'm doing that through my, like, I'll have it on my link tree, but I was doing that. And then I can do the quadrants with you. You can book with me and I can teach you the quadrants. We can do the 3-minute game online to help you reinforce it. If you're doing it virtually with your partner, you're doing it virtually dating.
So nice to learn it in a safe space with you. Yeah, just get used to it there. I love that.
Thanks so
You are
much.
such a gift. You are such a juicy human, juicy goddess. I love it. I always feel so activated after talking to you. I'm just also going to be all day at my desk, like. It's so good. I know. Also, something so sensual about our wrists. Hello.
Oh, this I love this.
Oh, it's so
One of my
good.
friends and I used to just, we would sit there and just do this.
That's my favorite thing. My always just touches my wrist there when I'm watching a TV or movie, and I think that's why I like love him so much. Because I'm like, thank you, someone who just knows that just touch me like here.